Last time, on Sailing Kittiwake, we painted and copper-coated the boat. In this episode, we finish off our long list of Boatyard jobs to prep Kittiwake for the Med, haul in and set off eastwards.
I'm going to go up the mast. I've got a few jobs to do up there. Firstly, our backstays need toggles at the top. So these little rigging toggles, they just allow the wire to move in any direction. I'm also going to install our new aerial for the AIS and VHF radio. And lastly, I'm going to put in new LED anchor light bulbs.
Ryan and I used to be rock climbers before we set off, so we just use our climbing gear we have. So that's pretty cheap. And Ryan climbs up the mast on a shunt, and I belay him from down here, and I pass him up anything that he needs, and it works out really well for us.
Yeah, it's a hot day. I'm hanging in the sunshine.
If you watched our videos where we were sailing down the Portuguese coast, you'll remember that we got caught out in fog quite a lot. And so we decided that this winter we'd fit an AIS. So we got hold of this one from the UK, got it shipped down to Portugal, which was a lot cheaper than buying it in Portugal. And the last couple of days I've just been installing it. There were two quite difficult bits. The actual mounting of it is fine, but getting the aerial cable into the conduit that runs down the side of our mast was really difficult. It just got completely jammed in loads of places and took ages. Spent about 2 hours at the top of the mast. That was a bit painful. And the second bit was trying to figure out the NMEA wiring, which I'd never done before, and there didn't really seem to be any simple instructions in the instruction manual. I spent ages looking through the instruction manual trying to find it out, but finally found a forum post on Sailing Anarchy which told me how to do it in about 10 seconds, and then I got it sorted. And then now we can see on here where other boats are around, fishing vessels, yachts, all sorts, which is really good. So last year with our outboard leg we were trying to keep it greased to stop it getting fouled up, but there was a couple of times when we kind of put it off a bit too long and it got really badly fouled. So this year we're going to try to spray it and see how that goes with the anti-fouling.
So I cool down. Won't you come on over? We can party till the sun's down. Baby, let me buy you a drink while we're dancing and blink. I can go for some we too. Hey baby, if you're looking for some crazy, I tell you everybody's standing in line for the water slide.
Today I am priming the doors and the cockpit lockers. After 2 coats of primer, we applied 3 coats of the same paint we used for the top sides, as we wanted a lighter colour to stop the cockpit lockers from getting hot in the sun and burning our feet and bums.
Surfing on the wave of good feelings. Well, it's just another Friday in paradise.
While we've been in the Boatyard, we went to explore the different towns and the cliffs of the Algarve on our hire car.
We can never run out of time sipping strawberry lime. You know I wanna share it with you, share it with you, share it with you. Hey baby, if you're looking for some crazy, I tell you everybody's standing in a line for the water slide.
While Ryan is cleaning up the storage, I am making some shades for our windows out of the space blanket, same that we use for insulation, because you can pretty much stick them in the corners and they'll just stay up there without the need of making curtains or adding anything onto the fiberglass. So that should be a pretty effective way to keep the heat out during the height of summer in the Med. I'll get to work now.
So bring your A game, 'cause you know this party won't stop. We can never run out of sipping strawberry lime. You know I wanna share it with you. Share it with you. Share it with you. Hey baby, if you're looking for some crazy, I'll tell you everything.
Today I'm activating the copper coat. So on the sander I've just got quite a high number sandpaper, and we obviously don't want to go through the copper coat, we just want to expose the copper. So sanding off the epoxy which is on top, just to expose the copper, which acts as the anti-fouling.
At first, we tried to paint the stripe down the sides, but we found it really difficult to get a decent edge on the inset curve, so we went for a vinyl instead. Okay, rant alert. I'm going to have a bit of a rant right now. We promised we'd share all the good and the bad, and I just feel like having a rant at the Boatyard people. Well, there's been some really amazing people that we've met through the Boatyard, like the carpenter and the guy who does the paint on the boats. The people in the yard have been a bit bad. They don't have any respect whatsoever for our boat or our things, and today they basically spoiled my paint job on the doors, on the lockers. And it took me 4 days to do that, and it took them about a second to drop them all on the floor because they couldn't wait 1 more minute for Ryan to pick them up. I wasn't there. And as well, when we were painting the top sides, they tried to pressure wash a boat right in front of our boat, so they almost spoiled our paint job there as well. So I wouldn't recommend this Boatyard to anyone. Sorry. But yeah, I'm sorry to rant, but it's just how it is. They are just rude. They don't really care about our boat. I don't know whether if we had a super yacht they might behave differently. Something tells me they wouldn't. But they have no respect for our boat or our jobs and anything like that. In other news, the weather has been really great. We're doing the final touches on Kittiwake, and we hope to be splashing next week, I think. So I'm quite excited about that. I can't wait to be out of here.
Wish that I could stay. Wish for this moment to never go away. But it's all in my mind. And though I know that there is nothing to find, you're a beautiful sight in the summer night. And you can't put up a fight in the misty light.
Once all the works were done, our friend Jennifer from the blog SV Rocket Science came to visit us and stayed for the night, which was a lot of fun.
I just wanted to give you a quick sort of insight into how we plan things on Kittiwake. So I'll give you today as a bit of an example. So today's kind of in 2 parts. Firstly, we're going to haul in and check that we're happy with the boat, check that there's no water coming in around the through holes, check that the engine's running okay, that sort of thing. And then the second part is we're planning to sail a bit down the coast to Faro. Now we do a kind of rough passage plan for a day sail, and I should start off by saying that I'm not like a yacht master instructor or anything, but this is just what we did on the way down, and it works for us. So there's kind of 3 things that we look at. The first is obviously the route. We need to know how far it is, how many nautical miles, how long it's going to take. The second is the tides. We're in Western Europe, not in the Mediterranean at the moment, so the tides are quite important, especially for today. We're going into a tidal lagoon, so we need to get the tides right. And then the third thing is obviously the weather. We need the wind to be in the right direction for us to travel there. So in terms of the route, it's 35 nautical miles, and I checked what time the slackwater tide is, and that's at 6 o'clock this evening. So from that, using the distance that we need to go and the time that we need to arrive, we're going to use a speed that we need to maintain. So we need to maintain about 4.5 knots, depending on what time the yard workers actually drop us in the water today and what time we're done with checking all the through holes and whatnot. So what we'll do is we'll try and maintain that with the cruising chute. It looks like pretty decent sailing weather out there. And if we're going a bit too slow, then we might switch the engine on for a bit, just to make sure that we get there by 6 o'clock. Because if we're too late, then the tide will turn in Faro and it'll all be flowing out through the narrow channel, and it's quite hard work apparently getting in there when the tide is flowing out.
It's the best feeling in the world. We've got loads of provisions, lots of gas, water is full in every single tank, and we're just ready to go and be on the sea, independent from shore, for at least 2 weeks, maybe longer. I'm so excited.
Streets all alone, all you can see, thinking about what your life came to be. You're a beautiful sight in the summer night, and you can't put up a fight in the misty light. Try to live another day like the mothers of Brazil find their way. We're all on our own, but you're the most beautiful I've ever known. You're a beautiful sight in the summer night, and you can't put up a fight.
How's it feel to be out?
Amazing!
Light.
Thanks for watching this episode. If you'd like to help us keep these videos coming, you can do so on Patreon starting from $2 per month, or you can make a one-off donation through PayPal. Join us next time as we start sailing towards the Med for the start of Season 2.